Welcome to the Peace with Money series with Amira and Endre. We just wanted to record this series for you so that you can find a little peace with money. We know that often it's one of those areas of life that gives people a lot of frustration. And so we wanted to come up with something that would make you feel a little bit more peace around it. So we know that for many people, the ideal life is one in which you are able to have some nice cars, to have a nice home, to feel safe and secure, to have the ability to go on holidays, and also to have enough left that you're able to give some to your family, to your friends, to help other people in need. Unfortunately, that's not always how it works out in reality for us. Because of so many opposing thoughts that we're feeling, we can experience this war raging inside of us. We have this sort of love-hate relationship going on with money because so many feelings of, pushing and pulling us in different directions. We want money so that we can live a great life. But on the other hand, having to deal with money, having to earn it, to manage it, to talk about it, or to even think about it can be unbearable. If only we could find our way to a life that's filled with fun and freedom, to feel prosperous, to feel joyous, to feel abundant. Now that's the type of life that we're really wanting to live and to get excited about. Instead of this beautiful experience with money, we often find ourselves experience a lot of common thoughts and feelings. These feelings are really common to so many people. So I want you to understand that if you are feeling any of them, you're certainly not alone. These are probably the most common thoughts that people have around money. So one of the top ones is frustration. We're always, feeling that push and pull, and so we're really quite frustrated. You might also be feeling a lot of anger. And then we come to the fears. We may be feeling poverty, that one day we just won't have enough money and we're going to be living in poverty. You may be feeling, stupid, or perhaps we feel incompetent, like we should know better, but we don't. You could have a real fear of making a mistake. You could find the whole thing just completely overwhelming. Often we get to that point where we just feel completely defeated, or we find ourselves comparing ourselves to others and having greater expectations of ourselves. You may be feeling ashamed. Quite often we feel like there's never enough. Perhaps we're even embarrassed about the whole thing, and that it's just all too much. Perhaps you just feel like I'm not lucky like other people are. And that if you just had more, then you'd be able to experience happiness and freedom. Endre, is there any other ones that you know are common to people?
There is definitely plenty more. But what I have discovered so many times is having more of these playing together with kind of voices in people's heads, and also playing a bit of a roller coaster where clients just getting out of it and then find themselves back in the same situations again with the same emotions and the never enough, the keep trying and are not lucky patterns. So somehow the vicious circle doesn't seem to end, and that's what we really want to change here. I give it back to you.
Absolutely. So let's face it, it's so exhausting. All of this going on in your head is just You can see the picture here. It looks pretty exhausted and defeated. So I just want to take a minute or two just to explain who I am and how I came to be on this journey myself. So I'm actually a spending planner and a money mentor. So as you can see by the picture, I am married and I have 2 children. They're a bit older now, but they prefer this little picture of them when they're younger. So we stick to that. So in 2005, I had really a huge mounting debt over my head. I had gone into business for the first time and I really did not know what I was doing. And I got really quite a little bit messed up with the difference between what was my money and what was business money. And I really did make a terrible mess of it. So I got to the point where I was absolutely terrified of the phone ringing. I'm sure, you've heard of what the debt collectors can be like. I was terrified. And it took me many years to get over the fear of the phone ringing. So thankfully, I kind of stumbled along a path of how I could learn to not only educate myself more about money, but also get some help. So there was no spending planners at the time. So I engaged with a life coach who managed to sort of boost up my confidence and keep me on track. And then I discovered that there was this thing called mindset. And I know that might sound strange to some people listening, but I really did not know that that was a thing, because in my family, nobody talked about that. It was just either it was this or it wasn't that. Some people were lucky, some people weren't, and we just assumed we weren't very lucky. So because of what I have learned, I have now spent especially the last 5 years since I became a spending planner, my mission really is to help other people move beyond this experience they have with money to one of peace, which is why we wanted to kind of call the program the peace with money. So if you wanted to know more about my story, just so I don't take too much time up here, it's on my website. There is the blog, and you will find a couple of stories that I have put together there that explain what happened and how I managed to get through that. It was a difficult period, but I'm really pleased to have been able to move beyond that. So what I'd like to do is to hand back to Endre and also get him to just tell you briefly about his journey as well and what has brought him to this point.
Thank you very much, Amira. I'm very excited to be here and really be of service and make a difference for people who are looking to change their money reality. And just a bit of story about myself. I was coming from a family where I've never felt really loved. I never felt that I was kind of good enough. And that really has shaped my early life. I was always trying to prove myself first to my parents to get love, and later on I found myself proving to everyone in place of authorities like bosses and any male figures. And of course this has played into my money reality. I lost a lot of investments and money. Later on I landed in a personal development space. That was about 10 years ago. And now I live in Sydney with a wife and 2 children. And slowly I realized that I really have to give back to people, and all the gems that I found about changing and make the change as rapid as possible. I specialize myself in the mind, how we can actually change reality around us, and especially this is an inside job. And now I enjoy myself as I give breakthroughs to people, sometimes in a few sessions and with a few months rather than 5 to 10, 15 years. So I'm very excited to be here, and I hope there will be a lot more value that we can give you in the series of these presentations. And let me just put you in a situation or give you ideas what we come across with Amira. Sometimes people hear in their mind that you should do better, or you need to focus on more, or you must work harder for your money, and money will just appear for you, like you see money that other people seem to have, but you don't. Or the question sometimes arises in people's heads that why aren't you smarter, or why are you not more experienced around money, or what's wrong with you? And unfortunately, what we see is that there's certain patterns of behavior, and really the hardest thing to do is break out of the usual pattern of thinking, and as such get new results in life. And of course, as people are kind of stuck in these situations, they do make the decisions to change, they do start to take new actions, but unfortunately they seem to find themselves again and again in the same situation. And that's where we really want to come in and bring in an absolute new approach to the issues that are outstanding, to really come from the mindset and give you the right strategies to change the situation finally and forever. I'll give it back to you, because it's not really your fault. It's something that you have picked up somewhere. It's something that you have brought from your family. I brought it from my family, certainly. And unfortunately, for the next 20, 30 years, I was living on misconceptions in my head and doing the wrong behaviors that resulted in not what I wanted. It was really painful. So I'll give it back to you, Amira, if you've got something else to add.
Yeah, so I just want people to know that you are valuable. Whether you have a little or a lot, whether you're struggling with money, no matter what people have said to you or what you have said to yourself, you are valuable. But you may have trouble believing this, especially if you've had years of people telling you otherwise, or if you've been telling yourself otherwise for all of these years. Just know that those comments do not equal your value. And I just want to explain to you that there has been a suggestion that we've all been subject to by the media and advertisers that money is the way that you can measure your value and your success. But there are so many other valid ways that you can measure your value as well. So you are a unique person, as we all are, and that alone makes you valuable. So if you can take nothing from what we're saying, please understand that we are all valuable and you are valuable.
Yes, it's my turn on struggle, lack, fear, pain with money. As a lot of people certainly are working hard, and somehow they just keep attracting the same results. And of course, that feeds back into another loop of fear and experiencing pain around money, and they never seem to get this healthy relationship with money where they don't actually have to worry about it. This is where we really want to take you as well, as I have achieved it myself. And of course, there are plenty of other factors at play which we focusing this whole program around the untold stories and how change can happen. And this will really is a game changer for most people. And I know that from results that I have provided for people. And of course, here we are going to share all of this for you, where the how to or the strategies, they may not bring results when the mind has several old programs running and somehow bring back the same results. And that's what we are here to change for you and to really rewrite your history and your future with money.
So what we have for you in the portal, in the program, you'll find a worksheet. So what we'd like you to do is to write down all the feelings and thoughts that you have about money. Just anything that pops up. You don't really need to work too hard at it. Just anything that might pop up, just write it down in that form and keep it. It will be useful as we go further on down the track. Okay, so with this program, we really want this to be a gentle journey for you. And the reason we say that is that often when you try to push too hard, the noise in your head can get even louder. So we don't want that to happen. So we just want you to no blame, no shame, and not too much expectations at this point. We just want you just to go through the series, see what you learn, just do the worksheets the best that you can, but you don't need to agonize over it. Just gently as we go. And during this program, what we're going to cover is some things that you might not even think relate to money. So we're going to talk about energy and motivation, about your money expectations, about trying to change and then failing, your relationship with money. Now, some people have never even heard the concept of having a relationship with money, your money and your mind, and also about changing your destiny. So we really want to give you as much as we can to help you start feeling that peace with money. So the next session that we've got for you is going to be around energy and motivation. And we are going to take a little bit of a different take on it. So this isn't going to be what we talked about before, about all those should-ofs, could-ofs, musts and all of that. We're going to look at it a different way. So we look forward to having you back with us then. But for now, we really want to thank you for joining us. And we really hope that you get as much value as possible from this. Endre, would there be anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm excited for the next one to come and provide more value. So you come on this journey with us to that result that you may want sooner than later.
Bye, everyone.